If you only sing every once in a while, your vocal cords are like, what? What are we doing? Like, why are you having me do all of this? So the more you get used to singing, the better and more resilient your vocal cords will be. Hi, you guys. I'm Crystal Sherrill from Indie Artist School. Welcome to the Singer's Arsenal. Today, we're going to talk about the top 3 problems that new singers have. Okay, so if you're new to singing, especially if this is your first time ever trying to learn more about your voice, chances are you're probably facing one of these problems at least. And most people face all 3 of these at any given time when they're first starting out. So let's talk about what those 3 problems are. The first problem you might be facing is lacking breath control. Now, breath control is really comprised of 3 different things. Let's talk about that. The first thing is about where you're breathing in. So most of the time, if you're new to singing, what you do is you go, do you ever do that when you breathe in? Does your chest and shoulders go up and down when you breathe in? If so, then that means that you're breathing incorrectly. That means you're breathing from your chest rather than from your diaphragm. What you want to do instead is to put your hands around your waist, okay? A little bit higher up above your hip bones, but right where it's squishy around your stomach. And you want to imagine that your stomach is a balloon that you're filling up with air. And as you breathe in, you want to make sure that your stomach goes out, but your chest and shoulders don't move at all. So let's try it really slowly. And breathe out. Do it really slowly if you can. Now, if you're listening to the podcast, you may not know, but when I took my breath in and I took my breath out, my chest and shoulders didn't move at all. If you're watching on YouTube, then you probably noticed that yourself. Now, I want to tell you one thing. Do not get frustrated with yourself if your chest and shoulders are still moving. It does take practice. And I say this all the time. Part of the process of learning new things is not just learning new things. It's unlearning old habits that are no longer helpful to you and learning new habits, and then also being able to do that consistently. So it takes a while for new things to stick, okay? So just remember that. All right, let's get it. So we're gonna try it again. You're gonna take a deep breath in. You're gonna keep your chest and shoulders down and out. Another thing that might help you is for you to make sure your shoulders are down, okay? And that your rib cage is as open as it possibly can be already, okay? Now, you don't wanna curve your back, but you do wanna make sure that it's as wide as it can be. That way there's no lifting going on when you take your breath in, okay? Let's try it again. Take a deep breath in. All right, did you do it? Let's try it again. All right, if you found a way to isolate your diaphragm, that means only your stomach is going out when you breathe in, then you've got it. That's the first step. The second thing that may be hurting you when it comes to breath control is that you are not projecting or supporting your notes properly. So maybe you actually are breathing in correctly like we just talked about, but maybe the notes themselves, once you start singing, you're running out of gas, if you will. You're running out of air. There's actually 2 things you can do. First of all, you can make sure that you're taking in more air when you breathe in than you normally do. If you're new to singing, you probably breathe like you do when you're talking, but I'm sure you quickly realize that you need a little bit more air than usual. So it's going to take some getting used to, and I will tell you, this is one of those things that gets better with time. The more that you train your breathing, the stronger your lungs will be and the more expanded they will become. So for now, we're going to do a breath expander exercise. I want you to do this with me no matter where you are. Pretend that you're sipping air in through a straw, okay? You're gonna breathe in as full as you can, and you're gonna take in a little extra air on top of that. And then as soon as you're as full as you can possibly be, like you're about to burst, I want you to hold your breath for 8 counts. Now, if you feel dizzy, go ahead and let go. Don't worry about it, it's okay. But if you feel fine, then this is perfect for you. So we're gonna breathe in as full as you can. Breathe in a little extra, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now hiss out. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now take inventory of your body. How do you feel right now? Do you feel awake? Okay, good. Do you feel that your lungs expanded really full? That's a really good sign. And the more you do this, and you practice it, you will be able to hiss out for even longer times. And this directly correlates with you being able to hold notes a lot longer and taking in a lot fuller breaths whenever it's time to breathe in between notes and phrases. So this is something that you will get better with the more you do it. But just remember, breathe in as full as you can, breathe in a little extra on top of that. Hold your breath and feel your lungs expanding. If you got asthma or anything like that, definitely take precautions. If you feel comfortable and it's fine for you, this is a good practice for you to expand your breath capacity. The third thing you need to do is support the notes themselves. This has to do with holding notes for longer. Now, as you saw with the breath expander that we just did, now what you want to do is hiss out as long as you can. So what we'll also do in this case, instead of just hissing out, what I want you to do is just practice on one single note, okay? That's all we're gonna do for today, just one note. And as you do it, what we're gonna do is something totally counterintuitive, something that you wouldn't think you would need to do. Instead of collapsing our chest when we hold a note, instead of going, ha, like that. I don't know if you guys are listening to the podcast, you have no idea what I just did, but basically my chest caved in, okay? Now, if you're watching on YouTube, then you saw that. That is very weak. What that does is it adds added pressure for no reason, and it also shortens the amount of time you can hold a note. You don't have as much power either. But if you want power, ha, like that, all you gotta do is push your stomach out, ha. All right, and as you push your stomach out, you are holding that note. All you gotta do is keep your stomach out as long as you can. And I know it sounds super weird. It's not a normal muscle movement that we do. Most people do not push their stomachs out. In fact, if we're in the Instagram age and everything like that, we're sucking our stomachs in, okay? But if you wanna support those notes, go ahead. Don't be afraid of your little air baby, okay? Let's get this. So take a deep breath in, and I just want you to sing, ha, and hold it for as long as you can. If that particular note feels uncomfortable for you, you can lower the note or higher the note to a note that feels better for you. All this is about being able to hold it with power and for longer, okay? So we're gonna try to see if we can hold that note. We're only gonna count to 4. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, breathe in. Now go, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's try it again. Breathe in and go, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now we're gonna do it, and this time we're gonna hold it for 8 counts, okay? Are you with me? I hope you're with me. All right, here you go. You're gonna breathe in and go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you make it? Did you make it? If you made it and you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and put it in the comments. I made it, okay? I wanna know if you made it, all right? Hopefully you did. And if not, I just want you to remember, this is new and it's okay if you don't have it all mastered and all figured out. But if you can take away anything from today, just know that you just found your diaphragm, okay? I also want you to practice in front of a mirror. You can make sure that you're not caving in from your chest when you're doing it, that you're not breathing in from your chest, and that you're actually using your diaphragm. Your air baby is coming from your stomach and not your chest, okay? So these are the kind of things that you need to be aware of. And remember, like I said before, it's not something that you snap your fingers and it's gonna be perfect, but it's just one of those things. You're unlearning an old habit, you're learning a new habit, and then you're gonna practice it so you can get better, okay? I hope that makes sense, all right? The second thing that new singers have problems with is pitchiness, okay? And if this is you, I know it's really frustrating because I'm sure there's plenty of songs that you want to sing and you struggle to sing them exactly the way they need to be sung, and you can't quite figure out why it doesn't sound polished, why it doesn't sound like the professionals. Pitchiness is the culprit. So let's talk about how you can improve your pitchiness, all right? So what you wanna do is listen. I know this sounds so cliche, of course you gotta listen, but you'd be surprised. A lot of new singers are very eager and excited to sing the songs without truly listening to all of the notes that the singer is singing. It takes some getting used to start listening in that way. It takes a little bit more attention than just a casual listener who's just jamming to the music. So you gotta listen with intention, okay? If you're singing along with something, record yourself and listen to to yourself to see how close you are to the notes, because sometimes you might not realize that you're pitchy until you hear yourself back. There's another thing that you can do to start training your ear and making sure that you can hear pitches is to do some pitch accuracy tests, have some fun with it, see if a note is higher or lower. I have a pitch accuracy episode and it has a lot of fun little games in there to help you improve your pitch accuracy. And also another thing that you could do is download this app called On Pitch. Now, I'm not sponsored by them. I should be though. But it's a really cool app that is a tuner. And what it does is it tells you if you're flat or sharp. Flat means you're too low on the pitch. It's the difference between ah. Okay, the second note I just sung was lower, okay? And so therefore it was flat. Okay, got it. Sharp is when you're too high on the note. It's the difference between See, I'm doing these really close because they're really subtle for most people. Most people's pitch accuracy is just barely off. But that second note is what? It's higher. And if it's higher, it's sharp. Good job. All right. See, you're getting somewhere. You learn a little something. Okay, I see you. If you train your ear, you start listening, you start practicing, and you start recording yourself and hearing yourself back, you're going to be a lot better with your pitch accuracy. And I know I sound like a broken record, but just remember that these things take time. Improving your voice is one thing. It's a whole nother thing to train your ears as well. And it's normal. It's normal. You're okay. It doesn't mean you're not meant to sing if you're a little pitchy sometimes. Everybody gets a little pitchy sometimes. And your goal is to be pitchy less. Be pitchy less times, okay? And improve your pitch accuracy to have that more polished sound that you're looking for. And the third most common problem that singers face, especially new singers, is a limited vocal range. That means you only have a few notes that you can hit comfortably, and it doesn't take long before you start straining or feeling uncomfortable, or you might even find that some of the songs you really love have notes in them that you can't hit. I just want you to know it's okay if you don't have this huge expansive range. A good thing that you can do to help yourself with increasing your vocal range and overcoming this is by singing more regularly. You'd be surprised how much that in and of itself will help you. If you only sing every once in a while, your vocal cords are like, what? What are we doing? Like, why are you having me do all of this? So the more you get used to singing, the better and more resilient your vocal cords will be. Of course, it does matter that you're singing properly so that you don't injure your voice or anything like that. And that's where having a vocal coach will really be helpful. And that's another time for a good little segue. I am a vocal coach. And if you are interested in learning how to sing R&B to develop your voice and overcome your vocal problems, go to indieartistSchool.com/pre-order to order the R&B Singers Arsenal online course, or you could just simply visit my website, www.indieartistschool.com, and you can also book one-on-one vocal coaching sessions there. Also, while we're here, I just want to say thank you to all of you who are supporting the podcast and supporting YouTube and subscribing. Yay, yay. Look at you go. Okay. If you would like to support as well, go to anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. I drop new podcast episodes every week and I couldn't do it without you guys' support. So thank you so much. All right, let's get back into it. So if you want to improve your vocal range, of course, it does help to have training, okay? And it also helps for you to sing more regularly. And another thing that you can do to help you improve your vocal range is to test your limits gradually. You don't want to push yourself too far because vocal health is of the utmost importance. But what you can do is just gently see what your lowest note is. So a good way that I like to test the lower ends of the notes is by singing and just keep dropping down. And then you take a breath. Just keep going as long as you can until it starts getting real gravelly and hard to make a sound. And anytime you hit one of those notes that sound like that, chances are you've reached your limit. And what you want to do is see what note that is. You gotta document it. There's lots of YouTube pages that just say, A2, B3, and you may not know what that is. That is the note value and the octave that it's in. So if you want to know know what your lowest note is, you could go ahead and sing along with one of those videos or something like that, and then just document the note value and the octave it's in, and that's how you know what your vocal range is. Now that's on the low end. On the high end, what you can do is the same thing, but instead of singing meh, you're gonna sing E, and you're gonna keep going up as high as you can until your voice cracks or sounds unflattering, okay? And that will be your highest note. An example would be like, take a breath in, and just keep going up until you feel like you can't go anymore, okay? That's the way you test your bounds, your highest note and your lowest note, okay? And I want you to think of it like this. Your vocal cords are actually already parts of your body, okay? So think about your body. It's just like if you were to build muscle, or if you were trying to stretch your muscles so that you could do the splits, okay? You're not gonna be able to do them instantly. So if you're trying to stretch your vocal cords to be able to expand your range, you gotta be delicate and gentle with the process. You don't wanna push yourself too far, but you also need to test your bounds a little bit to see change. So it's a delicate balance. It's like learning how to do the splits. If you've never done it before, that's okay too. A lot of people don't know how to do those. It's fine. Honestly, I'm still like, I can only do one type of split. Anyway, why am I talking about splits? We're not talking about that. Anyway, the point is, it is a part of your body, and anytime you want change with your body, it's going to take time and dedication. All right, so let's go back over those 3 problems that most new singers face. And now that you know the solutions, hopefully you feel a little bit more reassured. All right, so the first problem that most new singers face is no breath control. And the second problem that most new singers face is pitchiness. And last but not least, limited vocal range. If you have any of those problems, hopefully one of these tips has helped you and at least starts you along your journey to having a vocal transformation and improving your voice. Thank you so much for showing up today and listening to this podcast, or subscribing and watching on YouTube. You're amazing. I hope you check out the other episodes so that you can learn even more. All right. Thank you guys so much. As always, have a wonderful day and happy singing.